Hello, my friends, and welcome to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel. The only format where every day I show a property for sale in the Italian market. In each video, I select a property in a different town in one of the 20 regions of Italy. But so, let's start and let me introduce you today's property. Now, in today's video, I bring you to Sulmona. Now, Sulmona, beautiful historical town in Abruzzo region. Very high demand of expats in this area, in this town. So, Sulmona, L'Aquila Province, Abruzzo region. We are talking about a detached house for sale in Via Corfinio. So we are in Sulmona center. The asking price is 70,000 euro. Okay, here, 70,000 euro. The size of the property is 105 square meters, and we're talking about 4 rooms. So anyway, a lot to say about this property. I will tell you later on. For now, let's focus just 1 second on the price. Because anyway, 70,000 euro is not a very small price for a property in general. I consider a small price between 30, 40, maybe up to 50. Over 50 is already kind of medium price for a property in Italy. But my friends, in this town, in Sulmona, it had been extremely hard to find anything decent under this price. Then I will share you the link in the description of the property for sale, but I will also share with you in this video the link of the search for you to understand the search with the filters that I have selected, for you to understand that under this price, impossible to find anything interesting in a good condition. Okay, my friends, so let's go on Google Maps and let me show you where the property is. So, as we say, we are in Abruzzo region, L'Aquila province. Now, all the reasons why I picked this property. Now, first of all, because we are in the beautiful Abruzzo. So, we are in this lovely town called Sulmona. And so, Sulmona, very interesting town that has tiny bit more than 20,000 inhabitants. So 21, 22,000 inhabitants. So only recently Sulmona entered in the list of the 7% flat tax regime, because over 20,000, but now the new threshold is 30,000 for all the southern regions under 30,000 inhabitants. So Sulmona finally entered in this list. Then we are talking about quite spacious property, and particularly, anyway, we are talking about 105 square meters, between 90 and 105. I will explain you later why. But so, a property that has 2 bathrooms. In the description, it says 2 bathrooms and also small private plot of garden. So, very interesting. Plus, Sulmona has a train station. Okay, that's very important to say, because many people who don't have a car are interested anyway in towns provided with transportation services, and then there is also a hospital. So basically a town that has all the type of services. We see that the hospital is also not very far. We see here the red dot is where the property is. Then anyway, we are surrounded by many beautiful towns, mountains, and so on. But so let's keep zooming in. Basically a town that has all the services that we might need. So this is the location where the property is. Perfect. So we are in the old part of the town, in the beautiful historical part. Okay, my friends, so let's go back to the property and let's start investigating all we have to know. Now, basically, property description. Now, before I read the property description, if you like my videos, if you like my contents, you are welcome to put like and subscribe. Then, anyway, I'm glad that many of you are watching the videos and are learning a lot, because I'm trying to break in parts all the things that we have to know when we are searching for a property. So, my friends, let's read this short description. Sulmona, in the heart of the historic center, with independent entrance and exclusive small garden. So we have a small garden, we have an independent entrance that is on the first floor. Okay. So on the first floor, on one level, living room. It's a bit unclear, this description, so we'll try to understand. I guess the property is just on one level, on the first floor, with independent entrance with the stairs from the ground floor. So with a living room, kitchenette, two bedrooms, two bathrooms, and a cellar on the ground floor, and a small exclusive courtyard. So I guess it's a terraced house, but with a cellar on the ground floor, separate, independent from the house. And on the first floor, we have the house. The house develops in discrete state of maintenance. So we'll see the picture very soon. So we'll understand anyway the condition. Again, very hard to find anything under this price for something in a very good condition. But anyway, 70,000 euro in Sulmona at the moment is a very low price. Basic features: detached house, one floor, 105 square meters built, 90 square meters the floor area. So I'd say we should be around 1100, a bit less than 1100 square feet, maybe 90 square meters without the balcony, without the balconies, because I think the properties has balconies. It's not saying anything here. Maybe they're also considering the stairs that are leading to the house. Anyway, let's say 90 square meters, so 1000 square feet. Four rooms, two bathrooms, plot of land of 60 square meters. Yes, we have balcony. Second hand, good condition, storage room on the ground floor, orientation southeast, which is great for sun exposure. Built in 1945, individual heating, natural gas. Okay, let's explore now. Let's find out the price per square meter. And we are talking about 667 euro per square meter. So obviously 70,000 euro. The size of the property is 105, let's say 90. If it's 90, not considering, let's say, balcony or landing area, stairs, and so on, obviously the price should be around 800 euro per square meter. But for a property that is not in need of renovation, I'd say that we are under the average, because the average in Sulmona is around 1300 euro per square meter. Okay, so then what else we can see? Here, the statistics. Let's read quickly. Statistics. Listing updated on the 20th of March. So was listed on the 20th of March and never updated anymore. We have 912 views since it was listed. Reasonable amount of views, let's say, since the 20th of March. In 3 months, 900 views is a reasonable. That's why I don't think was updated, was listed before. One sent to friend, 3 email inquiries, 33 times saved to favorite. Okay, finally, let's go to the pictures and let's investigate the property. Okay, now we know that the house develops just on one floor, on the first floor. Nobody lives above the first and last floor. On the ground, there is a cellar. So let's consider as a terraced house with adjacent properties left and right. Okay, now here we are in the master bedroom, I guess. And from this picture, anyway, the good things that I can say about this property, I would start from the floor, because we have lovely wooden floor, which in Italy we call parquet. It's a French borrowed word that in Italy we use to describe this type of floor tiles. So parquet. Then we have here the radiator. So we have an efficient heating system. Overall, the structure of the property from here looks in a good condition. Weakest point of this house, for now, of these rooms, let's say, are the window frames, a bit outdated. Like in most of these properties, we might find outdated finishes. Normal for a property that was built, here they say built in 1945. Obviously, we see that the property went through modernization during the years. This is obviously not, this is an heating system built maybe 15, 20 years ago maximum. Also, the window frames belongs to the 70s, mid 70s. So through the years, obviously the house went through some upgrades. Okay, let's go back 1 second. Here, two pictures of the same room. Fine, anyway, at least we have a bright room. The lights are off. Okay, beautiful floor. Beautiful floors, this parquet style. Okay, now here we are in the hall, in the corridor, where, okay, let's start investigating. Okay, so we have a window on the right. Here, let's start from the right. So we have a corridor, we have the window, and we have the main entrance door. Here, always on the right, just after the window. Then we have dining room here, just at the end of the corridor, in front of who took the picture. Then here we have a lovely marble style floor tiles, which are nice and I see well kept. This is the type of floor tiles that people used to love to polish every day. Italian women back in the 70s, every 80s, they were not allowing anyone walking with the shoes on this type of floors. Then we have a pellet stove also on top of the radiators. And then I see one, two, a cabinet, and three doors. So basically on the left, which I don't know which rooms are, so we'll investigate. Okay, now here we are in the second bedroom. This is another bedroom, and we see that overall also this bedroom is in a good condition, with again bedrooms typical to have these floor tiles in the bedrooms in the 80s and early 90s, parquet style, radiator, so plumbing system probably went through some renovation during the years. Again, weakest point, single glaze windows, which is fine anyway. Temporarily, not necessary, they are not such in bad condition that have to be replaced tomorrow. So the property can be kept in a, let's say the property is in a fair condition. Could be better, could be worse. This is fair. At least the house is clean, tidy, and well kept. Okay, bathroom, typical bathroom. Now, if you're familiar with my videos, my friends, you know that here we enter in the crazy world of the Italian bathrooms with old finishes. And we see here the design. Here we can even talk about this design of the mid 80s, okay, with this sink, typical sink of the 80s, also bidet, also toilet. We see that the tank of the flush is up the ceiling, like in most of the bathrooms in the 80s. In the 90s, the tank was exterior and at the height, let's say, of the toilet. And nowadays, in the new bathrooms, they make the flush tank inside the walls. Anyway, a bathroom, even if it is with even if it's with let's say old finishes, yeah, has been well kept. And in the ad, it say two bathrooms. We have a shower, we have a window. Here, don't know why they kept the shutters closed. Anyway, they turn on the light, but we see we have light, we have a window, and then we have the radiator. Anyway, overall, the bathroom has been well kept. So technically, if we don't dislike this type of design, good cleaning, proper sanitizing, and a new bathroom ready to be lived. Okay, now here we are in the second bathroom, and as we see, is more a service bathroom. We see a sink and the toilet. This bathroom, as we see, the tank for the flush is the second type, let's say, mid 90s. So this bathroom went through some renovation or was built in the mid 90s because we don't see the tank up to the ceiling. Small one, we cannot really see, but we see the same marble tiles that we had in the corridor. And anyway, decent floor tiles. At least, even if they're a bit outdated, they're nice and well kept. Okay, interesting, because here looks like we are in a part of the corridor that we haven't seen before. So I'd say maybe there is a part of the house, let's say the night area is divided by the daytime area. I see the switch of the electricity, not the newest, but for sure the electric system is not outdated, so I don't think it's in need of renovation unless we want to replace the sockets and the switches. Doors are fine overall, typical of the 80s, early 80s. We have parquet, so I guess we are in the night area. Let's say, yeah, night area. Let's divide daytime area and nighttime area. So probably here we have the two bedrooms and one bathroom in this area. So one bedroom on the left, one bedroom, another bedroom on the left, and probably one bathroom on the right. Then we have this door on the right, at the very end on the right, which leads to the corridor that we saw in the beginning. Here we are back to one of the two bedrooms, all doors. Again, it's a bit of a adaptation. It depends if you can make it and keep it this property as it is, or if you want to go for a not complete renovation. Here we are not talking floor tiles. It's a crime to remove these floor tiles. If you find this type of floor tiles, never remove it. It's a crime because they keep very warm during the winter. It's a very nice and warm floor. The doors, let's say window frames, doors, bathrooms, as usual, these are the weakest points that not necessarily with big amounts of money can be renovated. Okay, here we are back to the bathroom, to the service bathroom, which is used also as a little laundry, so where we have the washing machine. Nice to have anyway a service bathroom and then anyway a master bathroom. And here from the, let's say, from the main entrance on the first floor, we have a view of the garden, say 60 square meters garden with a cellar on the ground floor. So again, the property is independent in the meaning that nobody lives under or above. Okay, here we have the stairs, which are leading to the main entrance in a fair condition. Obviously, we have access to the garden on the left. Okay, here we are back to one of the two bedrooms, which are fine. Furniture. Anyway, the house is clean, well kept, and tidy. That's what is important. I see probably freshly painted. Not long time ago, I didn't see any signs of mold or, let's say, damages to the structure of the house. Back to the bedroom, back to the master bathroom, let's say to the main bathroom. Spacious enough, well kept. Even if it's with old finishes, I have to say that this bathroom is well kept. I won't have personally any problem with keeping this bathroom. And here we have the garden. So probably they were growing something here. Anyway, it looks like a lovely area, Probably this is a window of the cellar that belongs to the property. Here we have an extra sink and tap for watering maybe plants, flowers, and so on. Okay, here we have a better view. And so basically, now interesting. If I'm not wrong, this is a lift. It looks like an open lift that leads to the first floor. The roof looks in a good condition. So that's where the house develops, where we see this window. So we have these stairs. Probably the I don't think it's a shared courtyard. Now we don't know if this is the front of the rear of the house. Let's say the main entrance could be at the rear, and then we have the front of the house on the main street. We should try, obviously, from here, we will never be able to find out on Google Street View where the property is. Here we have access to the cellar, probably. Okay, it's interesting. It's interesting. Obviously, these are all the pictures that they're showing. But again, I think this box here is an open box with a little, anyway, covered. But if I follow these two poles here, it looks like this is a lift. Probably someone with problems with mobility doing the stairs decided to make this little lift. Should be, question to the agent who is selling the property. Okay, finally, we are in the kitchenette. Here they call it kitchenette in the description. I think this is the window that we saw from here. Now, this window here we have the main entrance, and I guess this is that window. So, kitchenette, but spacious enough to have a table. So, with an eating table, is an eating kitchen, same marble floor tiles of the rest of the daytime area. Tiles overall, even if these are old finishes, they are all in a good condition. That's what I see by the pictures. And now here we are in the last room, which is a spacious living room. Very spacious, okay, with these marble style floor tiles. Spacious. Anyway, we also have a dining table. So I'd see a spacious living room. Kitchenette, spacious living room, service bathroom, main bathroom, and two bedrooms. Plot of garden, the stairs, landing area. For 70,000 euro, I say the ratio, price, condition, and location is quite fair. Yeah, if you have a look here, we might guess that this is a lift. Okay, I see some cables here. I guess it's a lift. Should be investigated. This is in my opinion. I even see a fig tree here. Anyway, lovely space where to enjoy outdoor times. And these are all the pictures of the property. Okay, let's go back shortly to the description. Simply to do a recap: independent entrance, exclusive small garden, property on the first floor on one level, so we only have the steps to lead to the first floor, living room, kitchenette, two bedrooms, two bathrooms, cellar. So they didn't show the pictures of the cellar. In discrete state of maintenance, I'd say fair. It might need some upgrades, then it's up to you. Again, they didn't show the balconies. Interesting, because all the bedrooms I saw. I want to do a quick recap to see the second bedroom. Okay, I need to go back quickly one bedroom here, one bedroom here. So they're not showing if one of the two bedrooms has a balcony. The living room, I didn't see any balcony, so poor quality pictures as usual. Obviously, if you are interested, you can just follow the link below in the description and contact the agent. If you want, I can contact for you. It's enough you contact me by email and I can do this for you. Okay, in case you don't speak Italian, to have more material. Okay, let's go now to Google Maps and let's try to understand the distances to the main locations around. Now we are in the inner part of Abruzzo region. So we are not, Sulmona is not very close to the coast. We are actually very close to the ski slopes. So mainly for mountain lovers, uh, let's say nature lovers, mountain lovers. And okay, so let's see here. Let's say, okay, we are in L'Aquila province. I don't see L'Aquila in a very short distance. I think Chieti is closer, even Pescara could be closer than L'Aquila. So that's what we're gonna investigate first. Which one? Apart that, anyway, there is also Avezzano, which is a quite big town, again in the mountains. Let's see how far we are from these main towns. Let's see which one is the biggest nearest town. Let's start with Chieti. Chieti is 48 minutes by car and is fine. Okay, less than 1 hour. Let's see L'Aquila. L'Aquila, the eagle. Translated in English, L'Aquila means the eagle. Okay, L'Aquila, even if we are in L'Aquila province, it takes 1 hour and 33 minutes to reach L'Aquila by car, simply because we are in the southern part of Abruzzo region. Unless Sulmona, actually, if I made a mistake, let me go here in Sulmona. If it's part of, it's L'Aquila province. Okay, for a moment, ok, I'll show you here. Sulmona è un comune italiano di 21.575 abitanti della provincia dell'Aquila. Okay, so even if we are in L'Aquila province, but we are in the southern part of the region, so the one that is bordering with Molise, Lazio, and Campania. So, okay, Pescara, let's focus on Pescara. Consider that anyway, Sulmona has everything, has not shopping centers, but anyway, big grocery shops, hospital. As we see, anyway, if we compare L'Aquila and that is here, and Pescara, so Pescara is even closer than L'Aquila. So we are on the seaside in by 53 minutes driving. Okay. Now, my friends, let's see by transports to reach Pescara. Okay, so we have one train to reach Pescara. Let's see 1 second the details of this train here. So from Pescara Centrale to Sulmona, we have direct train, and then from Sulmona train station to the property is 31 minutes by walk. So it's 1 hour and 27 minutes by train to reach Pescara, 10 stops. Then we might have a bus service. This one that takes 2 hours and 13 minutes. Let's see. So we have Pescara Centrale, Sulmona train station. Then in 1 minute we reach the station square where we have a bus that brings from the station to the hospital. And so in this route, on this bus, then we have a stop, and from the stop, 6 minutes by walk. So to avoid the 30, no, 31 minutes that we saw before. And now let's check the last destination, my friend, which is Rome. Let's see how far we are from Rome by train. Now, this is one of the main advantages of this town that I kept for the end, for you that have watched up to the end. So basically, Sulmona is connected by train to Rome. So if you're coming, if you don't have your own transport, your own transportation, you can commute to Sulmona by train, 2 hours and 27 minutes. Obviously, the train goes up to the mountains, beautiful journeys, beautiful landscapes. And then again, from once we are in Sulmona, from Rome to Sulmona, by walk, we have the same train that goes from the train station to the hospital, which it takes only 7 minutes, 5 stops. And then we reach Viale Roosevelt from this one, Viale Roosevelt, 6 minutes by walk. Okay. Okay, my friends, let's go now a bit of Google Street View to understand the area. And let's close here. Let's zoom in and let's see. I don't think we'll be able to find the property. I'll tell you why. Now, if I go back here to the property and I check view map to understand, it says for privacy reasons, the advertisers has not indicated the exact address. So we only know that the property is in Via Corfinio. And so we go back now to Via Corfinio just to have an understanding. Porta Giapasseri, Giapasseri. So we are in the old district, Sulmona Old District. Quite big anyway, as I said, more than 20,000 inhabitants. So let's start from this square, Via Corfinio. I want to understand. So this is Via Corfinio, lovely narrow street, beautiful main entrance, beautiful door, very historical town. Let's see here. Okay, here we are already in Via Corfinio, but unfortunately will be very hard to guess and find out which one is the property. We have a lovely antique church, very old church. Okay, let's go this direction till the end of the street. It's a lovely and narrow street. We see someone walking. The property could be one of these. Now, I don't know which one. We see very old palazzo, old buildings. Lovely. Obviously very outdated. Also in need of renovation. But people, Italian people, are also living. Okay. Let's see. Here we have other properties. Anyway, it's a street where cars can drive, but again, this could be the perfect property for someone without a car, because you are already in the center of the town where you can get, anyway, all the main services that you might need. Viale Corfino, as we see, is an historic street. Okay, let's see here and here. Typical narrow street of the historical southern Italian towns, and not only. Okay, we have some shops, probably closed. This picture I see was taken in 2018, so I believe could have been upgraded. some buildings. We are in the heart of the town here. Let's see. Obviously, we see some business activities, maybe in closing hours, during closing hours. Lovely building. Okay, my friends, I hope you have enjoyed, and from Via Corfinio, Sulmona, L'Aquila Province, Abruzzo region, I wish you a lovely day, and I'll see you here on Italy A Place to Love YouTube channel tomorrow for another property for sale. Bye!